In this recording, I'm going to show you how it looks like when iCloud Photo Library is turned on and you are importing your phone photos, only the phone photos, through your Apple iCloud to your Mac Photos library. So what we're going to do is we're going to open your Photos library. In my case, that's on this external hub here. This is my library. Double click to open. And now I can see my library, and as soon as I take a photo with my phone, it will synchronize and eventually pop up here in my photos library. Now, to make sure that this really happens, you need the right settings in your photos library on the Mac. So go to Photos, Preferences, and we'll start with the General tab. What you need to make sure first is that the library you're working with is your system library. So you can only have one system library. If you create another library, a new library, and you choose this one to be your system library, this will not be your system library anymore. So the view here that it's grayed out means that it is your system library and you can only have one. Also make sure that you copy your items to the photo library. That's not really relevant for the phone transfer, but in general just make sure it's ticked on. I'm not going to go into that right now. And in iCloud, this will show up when you connect your iCloud to Photos, and then you choose you want to synchronize iCloud Photos and you want to download originals to this Mac. Ideally, you always download original to this Mac, but that obviously needs space. So if you don't have enough space, you might have to move out your Photos library to an external drive and make that your system library, which is feasible. That's not a problem at all. And you can still synchronize with iCloud. So download original to this Mac, because then you back up your Mac and you have control over your original files, even though they sit in the cloud. So that's just to minimize the risk. Shared albums should always be ticked on too. So that's that. And if this doesn't look like this, what you have to do is you go to your Apple symbol here on top. You go to System Preferences, and here you go into your Apple ID, and then iCloud. And this here, Photos, that needs to be ticked on. If this is not ticked on, this here will look different. So you can't actually choose any of these options if this is turned off. So in case it looks different when you do that in Photos, go into your system settings and double check that this is ticked on, and then you'll be good. So now that's all you have to do, nothing else. It will download your new phone photos to your Photos library as soon as you open Photos on your Mac. It's not working in the background, you have to open it up, and that will trigger the upload and the download. And don't worry if it doesn't kick in straight away when you open your library and you're not seeing like a progress bar here immediately. Sometimes it takes a few minutes to kick in, but it will happen. And eventually you should always see the same number of photos and videos on your Photos library compared to your camera roll on your phone.